Hi my super sweet crafty friends, welcome to my channel Carolina's Creations Unmade. Please subscribe and click the bell button down below so you don't miss my videos. And today I want to say thank you to each and every one of you who participated in our Dollar Tree Craft Fair Ideas Hub. Thank you so much for all your sweet comments. I'm so happy you're liking our hub. And thank you and welcome to all my new subscribers. I am going to try to answer each and every comment for that video, so please be patient because it takes time. But thank you so much. I really appreciate your sweet comments and I welcome all of you. And today I'm going to share with you a super highly requested tutorial. I'm going to show you how to make the Lip Balm Shadow Box. And as you see here, I use transparency so my box is clear and you can see the inside. And you can decorate your lip balm. I'm using the Tap Ice lip balm from the Dollar Tree and they come 3 in a pack, so it's great value. So if you're making them for stocking stuffers or for craft fairs or presents, it's really great value. I'm going to show you how to make the box from scratch, but I created a template that is going to be available for free to all my subscribers. So if you're one of my subscribers and you would like the template, email me to the email address that you see on the screen and I'll send it to you. I'm also going to answer a question from one of my new subscribers. Welcome. And she was asking me what paper did I use for the bow on my last shadow box. And this paper here is actually from Michaels. It's a hot buy and it's called North Pole Gazette. So I hope you find it at your Michaels. So now I'm going to show you how to make the lip balm box. We're going to need a piece of cardstock that measures 6 1/8 by 8 1/8. This is not my original design. I actually got inspired from a video from the Paper Pixie and she showed how to make a lip balm shadow box. She has great videos, so I recommend you check her channel out. I made changes to my design. I decided to make it clear so you could see the inside of the box and also decorate your lip balm. So I'm going to show you now how to make our lip balm shadow box. We're going to need to cut our paper to 6 1/8 by 8 1/8. And now we're going to start scoring. There's going to be a lot of scoring, so don't get nervous or discouraged. It's so easy. You just need a little patience. We're going to use the same measurements for all 4 sides. We're going to score at 1/2 inch. Then we're going to score at 1 1/8. Then we're going to score at 1 5/8. And then we're going to score at 2 1/4. And again, we're going to use the same measurements and score in all 4 sides. So turn your paper around and we'll score again at 1/2 inch. Then we'll score at 1 1/8. Then we're going to score at 1 5/8. And then we're going to score at 2 1/4. And I'm sorry if it's a little slow. I know several of you like to see exactly how it's made and not rush. So we're going to score again on our next side at 1/2 inch, 1 1/8. We'll score at 1 5/8. And then we'll score at 2 1/4. Turn your paper once more, score again at 1/2 inch. Then we'll go and score again at 1 1/8. And next at 1 5/8. And finally at 2 1/4. So this is how our paper will look. You can see here all the scoring we did, and this area here is going to be the size of our shadow box. So now we're going to do a few more scoring, and for this one we're going to score top and bottom, and we're going to use the same measurements again. So score at 2 3/4. And this time we're only going to score down to the second line. Don't go past the second line. So we'll score at 2 3/4 down to the second score line. And we're going to repeat. We're going to score at 5 3/8. And we're going to go down to the second score line again. Make sure you don't go past the second score line. So now we're going to turn our piece around and score at the bottom side, and we're going to score again at 2 3/4, and we're going to go down to the second score line, and we're going to score once more at 5 3/8, And remember not to go past the second score line. So we're done with the long side. Now we're going to go with the shorter side, and we're going to do some scoring again, top and bottom, using the same measurements. So we're going to score first at 1 3/4, and you'll see here this will give us 1/8 of an inch from the last scoring line that we have there. So score at 1 3/4, and this time we're going to go down to the 4th score line. Don't go past the 4th score line. So 1 2 3 and 4th, and we're going to score again at 4 3/8, and we're going to go down again to the 4th score line. Don't go past the 4th score line. And this is what we have. So you see there we have 1/8 of an inch distance there. So we're going to repeat that on the other side. We're going to score at 1 3/4, and we're going to go down to the 4th score line. Then we're going to score again, and we're going to score at 4 3/8, and we're going to repeat the same score down to the 4th score line. And this is our piece. So we have here the base for our shadow box. And now we're going to start cutting. Cut over here up to the 2nd score line, as you see me doing here. Then turn your paper around, and you're going to cut up to the end of the score line, up to where the 2 score lines meet over there. You're going to cut, and then you're going to turn your piece around, and you'll see there we have the 1/8 of an inch that we created with these 2 score lines. So we're actually going to cut all the way up till this score line over here, and this is going to start creating our little flap. So now we're going to turn our piece around, and then we're going to cut here on this line that you see here. We'll cut up to the next score line, and then we're going to turn our piece around again, and we're going to cut up to that score line that we see there. So this is going to be our flap. We turn our piece around, and then we're going to cut all the way through following that score line. And this is going to give us our first corner. And there's a lot of cardstock that is going to be wasted because it's all scored up. If you use a template, you're going to have clean scraps that you can use to make your bows, to make tags, or for other projects. So now we're going to miter our corners here on the flap, or cut at an angle so we have cleaner flaps. Turn your piece, and now we're going to cut in here up to the 3rd score line. Don't go past that 3rd score line. Turn around, and we're going to create our next flap. So we're going to cut up to that score line that we see there, this one here. Turn your piece around, cut again up to the score line, and then you're going to turn your piece around, and we're going to cut from this line here all the way up to our 4th line, just as you see there. So we have our flap made. Now we have to cut our little angles so we have a cleaner flap. Now you're going to turn your piece around, and you're going to cut here up to the 2nd score line. So cut up to the 2nd score line. Then you're going to turn your piece around and cut at an angle up to the edge of that score line there. And you have your other corner. Now we're going to cut here again up to the 2nd score line, and we're going to turn our piece around and cut at an angle till the edge of that 1st score line that we get there. And you'll see there we'll have the space for the 1/8 of an inch that we created. We're going to cut all the way up to that score line over there. Turn it around, cut over here, and you're going to cut up to the score line. Turn your piece around again and cut up to the score line as you see there. Turn it around, and then you're going to cut all the way through following that score line, and you'll have your other corner. you're going to miter your corners or angle it over here. And that will give you a cleaner flap and it will look better when you fold your box. So we're going to turn our piece around, and again, I hate all this waste, but with the template you save all that. So cut over here up to the 3rd score line. Turn your piece around, cut again to that score line over there. Turn it around and we're cutting our flap again. And now we're going to turn it around and we're going to cut from that 1st score line that you see there up to the 2nd. So you're going to only cut up to the 2nd score line, turn your piece around and cut at an angle to that score line that you see in there. And then we're going to cut all the way up. You'll see there we have that 1/8 of an inch, but we're going to cut all the way up to that next score line. We're going to miter or angle our corners. And this is our piece. So this is the base for a lip balm. Don't get discouraged. It looks really complicated, but it's really not. And here's the template. So if you would like the template, you just have to print it, cut it once, and then you can use the template to trace around your cardstock. And that way you would save a lot of cardstock. It's easier because you don't have to concern about cutting through score lines. You'll have the shape already, so you can just cut around it. Also, when you print it, make sure that you set your printer to no scale. And if you like the template and you're one of my subscribers, email me to the email you see on the screen and I'll email you the template. And now we're going to fold and burnish all our score lines. So there's going to be a lot of burnishing here. But again, this is really simple. I know it looks a lot more complicated than it really is. So don't get discouraged. Try it. I'm sure that anyone can make it, and I'm sure you guys will make a beautiful box. Once you get the hang of it, you can make them really easy and quick. And if you have the template, it would save you tons of times. So it will make it great for a craft fair project or to mass produce to give for stocking stuffers or for gifts for the office, teachers, etc. And now that we're all burnished, we're going to start gluing. I'm using wet adhesive. I know that a lot of people like using double-sided tape, but I really like that with wet adhesive, I have a little wiggle room so I can move it around and place it exactly what I want it before the glue sets. So we're going to fold here at the 2nd score mark, fold it, and then you're going to fold again like that, and then just press it in. Super easy! So we're going to burnish it, and this is going to give us the first wall for our shadow box. You guys have to tell me in the comments below, how do you like this little tutorial and how do you like this little shadow boxes? So I'm going to show you again. We're going to glue, but I'm going to show you how to fold it that is even easier. And this is the way I fold it. I apply the glue to the edge tab, as you saw over there. And then you're going to fold that edge there at the score line, and you're going to place it to meet the score line at the base, and then just fold it in. And it's just so easy if you do it that way. Burnish to make sure that your adhesive sets, and we're going to repeat the process. So we're going to again apply glue to the edge score areas. So once the glue is applied, you're going to fold that at the score line, and then you're going to place it to meet the score line there at the base and just fold in. Once you fold it in, you just burnish it again to make sure the glue sets, and it's almost done. Oh my god, this is so stinking adorable. So we'll apply glue again, and then we'll fold it in over there at that first score line, and then we're going to make it meet the score line at the base and then fold it in. Super easy. Burnish it again, and now we're going to bring the walls together and glue. This part may seem a little finicky, but it's really not difficult at all. Fold your flaps, and then you're going to squeeze on the longer wall over there to have more space to squeeze the shorter wall in. So it's really easy. And we're going to apply glue to it later, but we're going to fold in our last wall. So fold your flaps in, and then you're going to squeeze on the longer walls so they give a little way for the shorter wall to come in. So it's really easy. Now we're going to apply glue to it, but look at how cute it is. Oh my god, it's so adorable. So now we're going to move the wall a little bit and then apply glue to the ends over there at the corner. Don't apply too much glue, and then squeeze your wall in again. You're going to clean any glue that oozes out, so make sure that you don't apply a lot of glue here. It's really not necessary. You just have to apply a little dot of glue. And then you're going to press in there for a little bit where you apply the glue so it sets in, and it's done. So we'll do the same for the other side. Just apply a little dot of glue over there at the corners. Sorry, I'm out of frame. And then squeeze them in. You're going to clean any glue that oozes out, and you're going to press there for a few seconds, and it's set. Oh my god, this is so stinking adorable. Oh, you guys have to let me know how you like it, and I really hope you try it. It's not difficult at all. It may look like it, but it's really not. And if you have the template again, it's a breeze. And now we're going to make the cover, and the cover measures 3 5/8 by 5 inches. And I'm using transparency. I bought this transparency at the office store a couple of years ago, but you can find it at any office supplies, and I think Walmart sells it too. And it comes a lot in a pack, so you cut at 5 inches. Turn around and cut at 3 5/8, and it's great because if you have an 8.5 by 11, you will get 4 covers out of one sheet. So I'll cut at 3 5/8, and this is the piece that we have. I leave the backing so it's easier for me to see where I'm cutting. And now I'm not going to give you a scoring measurement for the cover because the box is very slightly and you want them to fit snug. So this is what I do. I place the transparency so it's almost at the center of my box, and then I'm going to start pinching around the edge of my box where I want to fold it. I do it slightly just to mark what I want to fold. So I turn my box around and I do the same. Pinch really slightly on the areas I want to fold so I have a guide. And now what I'll do is I'm going to score using my scoring tool and using the marks as a guide. Score slightly too. You don't want to be too forceful. Just score slightly so you have almost a line where you want to fold. Now fold your transparency. And after we fold the transparency, we're going to bring our box again, and we're going to place the transparency in the box so we can pinch the other edges that we want to fold. Again, pinch slightly, don't do it forcefully. It's just so you have an idea where to fold. So do that on both sides, and you'll see there we have almost a 1/4 inch of overlap between the two sides. And this is great because you applied your adhesive there. So now we're going to score again slightly on the areas that we mark. And we have our cover almost done, and it fits perfectly our box. It's so adorable. And now we're going to apply adhesive to our cover. I'm using 1/8 double-sided tape, but you can use a 1/4 inch tape too. I'm going to apply it to the edge of one side, and I'm going to trim over there just at the edge, and I'm going to burnish a little bit to make sure that it's set. Then I'm going to fold my cover into my box, and then I'm going to press both sides of the cover with the adhesive end on top, and then I'm going to press in. Now remove the cover, and we're going to burnish in the double-sided tape a little bit, and do that from the inside so you can make sure that it sets. And we have our cover almost done, and it fits just perfectly. So now if you'd like to, you can add a little strip to the back to cover the adhesive. So I cut a piece that measures 3 5/8 by 5/8. And this I'm going to glue on the back, as you see there, so it covers my adhesive and it gives it a cuter look. You don't really need to do this. I just do it because I think it's cuter. And again, I use wet adhesive to glue my little strip. And it's just looking so adorable. And now it's time to make the cover for our lip balm. We'll need a piece of cardstock that measures 2 1/8 by 1 7/8. So cut the little piece and you're going to wrap it around your lip balm like this. And I'm going to show you what I do to make it easier. So I cut my strip of 2 1/8 by 1 7/8. And then I'm going to use a brush so I can wrap around my little piece on the long side. And I will give it the round shape and it will make it easier for me to fold it into my lip balm. So you will see here, you will get 1/8 of an inch overlap so you can glue it. I use the edge of the older label as a guide to where I want to glue my piece. So I apply glue to the edge of the little side there of my paper and then glue it. Make sure that it sets in. So press it there for a little bit. And then you're going to apply glue again to the other edge and you're going to press your piece firmly and then bring it into the other side to glue it. So I also burnish it to make sure that it sets properly. And now you have your little lip balm covered. I love this one. It looks like candy cane. So now look at how adorable it looks. Oh, it's perfect. So the only thing remaining is the ball. And look at how well it fits. Really snug and super cute. And I'm going to show you, I actually made my ball using a punch from Stampin' Up. It's a ball punch. This one I purchased a week and a half ago and it was on the clearance rack of Stampin' Up for $10. So you may want to check to see if you can find it there on clearance. And I'm going to punch my paper so I can make my ball. And you can use any ball you have. You can make your ball yourself. I'm going to wrap the little pieces around my brush to give it the shape. And you then have to glue each piece together to form your ball. And this time I'm going to glue the ends of my ball down because I want to give it a different look. And it's adorable. So now I'm going to glue together my pieces so I can form my ball. And I love using a punch because you just punch and you make them real quick. So if you want to use them to mass produce, I think a punch is a better way to go. And look at how adorable! Oh my god! I love how it looks this way too. Look, it's like candy cane. So adorable. I really love how it turns out. It's so clean looking and so beautiful. And remember, I made the template for my subscribers. So if you're one of my subscribers, make sure that you email me to the email address that I showed before so I can email you the template. And remember to print setting to no scale. And I hope you guys like my tutorial. I'm sorry it was a little long, but I wanted to show you my whole process. Thank you again so much and welcome to all my new subscribers. And thank you so much to all of you, my super sweet crafty friends, for all your love and support. I love you guys and I hope to see you back here soon for another video. Bye bye.